Welcome to Real Estate Update. I'm Allie McNair, and I'm coming to you from New Hampshire, but I'm fortunate enough, thanks to WHHI and Zoom, to be speaking with James Wedgeworth of Hilton Head Island. Hi, James.
Hey, I'm not in New Hampshire. I'm here. So
No, you're in a great place, and you're the person we like to talk to when it comes to real estate, what's happening on the island. You've been in the business for over 30 years. I wanted to start by saying CNBC on August 1st had a headline on their online component that says, "The housing market has cooled." And I know you say real estate is local, hyper-local, but what's it looking like on Hilton Head Island these days?
Well, that's the question I get asked about 15 times a day. I've stopped to buy gas the other day and had 3 people come up and talk to me about, has the market cooled? It is definitely cooled. It's still a strong market, but it's not, I use the word, Allie, I say it's not crazy anymore. Back in
Crazy was when, James?
March and April, I define that as the 2 crazy months. What I mean by that is you'd list a house and the first day you get 12 offers and all 12 would be above list price. So it's cool from that. I actually ran some numbers, and I know people don't like to quote statistics.
No, I think, well, it kind of makes it clear, or you know, right out there as far as how things have changed. I know you looked at some inventory statistics.
Here's some inventory I looked at. In January of 2022, the start of the year, there were 92 homes for sale on Hilton Head. This does not include Bluffton, but it's probably a similar percentage. As of today, there are 183 homes, so that's basically a double. Now, in February of 2020, there were 590. So when the market was real hot, we had 92 for sale. We got 183 now, but 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we had 600. So everything's relative, you know. And villas, I ran the villa numbers. In January, we had 67 villas on the market. Today, we've got 200, and we had 400 in February of 2020. So that'll give you an idea that the inventory has increased, and obviously that's cooling the market. It's not crashing, but it's cooler. They're meaning...
I think when you referred back to what was on the market a few years ago compared to now, we still have a lot less inventory. It is all relative.
Yeah. Now, we have less buyers, too. That's changed. I ran January home sales. There were 52 in January on Hilton Head, home sales, pending dates. In March, there were 106. So that's a 51% decrease. In villas, March of 2022, there were 142 sales. In July, there are 93, so that's a 35% decrease. So you're seeing less sales, more inventory, and it's more what I call a normal market. And the first 4 months of the year, it was anything but normal, but it's more normal now.
Yeah, the first statistic, I just want to jump back because I don't think I heard you clearly. The first statistic you were talking about homes for sale in January of 2022 and March, or were you doing March of 22? Sorry, go over the first one.
January of 22, we had 92 homes for sale on Hilton Head. Today we have 183. Now actually there was less for sale in March, but I'm just using January statistics on that. Now on the pending sales, I was using March. There were 106 sales in March, and there were, 52 in July. So you basically
it's quite a change. I mean, as you say, it's still way up if you look back a few years. I want to ask you though about, you mentioned villas and more on the market there. What about the prices of homes on Hilton Head Island? First of all, I want to tell you, when we talked about this a little, Wall Street Journal Online, I don't know if it was in the print edition, said, as out-of-state buyers flock to Hilton Head, $1 million sales have become the norm. Now, I'm not talking $1 million homes, but I mean those luxury homes on the beach and everything. Are they still moving as quickly? Are people's homes staying on longer? What's happening there?
Well, normally what you see happen, which is what's happening now, is the higher price homes get slow first. You know, the lower price homes are still selling pretty quickly. We've noticed that the $4 to $6 million market, we haven't had as many sell, and the ones that have sold, some of them had price reductions, and some of them stayed on the market longer than they were staying on the market in March and April. In March and April, they were all selling the first day they came on the market. Well, maybe not the first day, but first
Pretty
week
close,
anyway.
though.
Yeah.
But here's a question for you. I remember you saying if homes weren't selling, and maybe in that range before, like in March, you were saying, or there has to be a price reduction. Maybe people were asking too much to begin with. Do you think it's still a case of maybe people wanting to get in on trying to sell their home before things cool and they're pricing too high? That's why they're reducing?
Yeah.
Or is it just because the demand is less?
Well, it's both, but here's what's really happening. A guy called me yesterday and he said, I want to sell my house. And he told me where his house was. And he said, I noticed in March a house similar to mine sold for 5.1. And I'm going, ooh, I don't think I can get 5.1 for his house today. So what they do is they're looking at the March and April price and they're asking that. And then when it doesn't sell, they go, well, maybe I put it on too high. I did run some statistics that are very interesting on price reductions. Of the 183 homes that are presently on the market, 89 have had a price reduction. That's 49%.
That's quite a bit, James.
Yeah. Well, I went and checked the summer of 2021. I just went back to the summer, and 20% of the homes had price reductions the summer of 2021. So what was happening the summer of 21 to spring of 22, most of the properties were selling, so you didn't have to reduce the price. But then what happens now, people are putting them a little probably higher than they should, and they're having to adjust the price because nobody's looking at them. And we used to say in our business, if recently in the last year, if your house has been on the market 7 days and hadn't sold, it's probably overpriced, because most things, remember, last time we did this program, the medium days on the market was 4 days. So
it was crazy.
4, yeah. I mean, if it doesn't sell, I had a guy call me one day and he said, what do you know about this house over here at such and such address? I said, oh, it's a great house. I've shown it several times. He said, what's wrong with it? And I said, well, there's nothing wrong with it. He said, obviously there's something wrong with it. It's been on the market 7 days. You know, like he was shocked that it hadn't sold in 7 days. I said, well, it may be a little overpriced, but it's a great house. You know, so that's how people...
Things have changed, haven't
well,
they?
you know, what do you expect?
Not in a bad way, but not craziness.
The real estate market always changes. I mean, it goes from good to bad to medium to slow. It changes from time to time. And as I always tell people, there's no such thing as a straight line up. There's no such thing as a straight line down. You know, it does change.
All right, here's one for you. I know when things were like crazy, I said, everyone would like you to be a crystal ball reader and tell them, if I'm going to sell, do it now before things start to calm down. Would you still advise, because we're seeing the cooling off, would you still advise someone, if they're thinking about selling, to do it now rather than wait?
I've had this conversation several times this week where I advise people. One guy called and he said, I think I missed the market. I said, no, we still have a strong market. Yeah. It's not crazy, but it's still stronger than it was traditionally. You know, our inventory's less. So I'm telling people, if you do want to sell, we still have a lot of buyers. So there are buyers out there, maybe not as many as we had, but you know, 3 or 4 months ago, we had too many buyers. You know, we had very little sale and too many buyers. Crazy.
Not that you were complaining, right? I mean,
I didn't complain at all.
But I don't think you do, even when times are not as great.
Well, when you stay, I've been in this business on Hilton at 41 years, so I've seen all kind of, you know, ups and downs and kind of things happen. You know.
I want to talk quickly before we go to a break. I mentioned that Wall Street Journal article with that headline about Hilton Head Island and the $1 million homes. How does that help our market? Does someone that maybe picks up the Wall Street Journal on the train into New York every day, or you know, from Connecticut or New Jersey, take a look at that and say, maybe I'll check out Hilton Head Island? Does it help?
That's unbelievable help. I told somebody that's kind of like our Heritage Golf Classic every year. You know, that free advertising being on TV. An article like that, and I know the article you're talking about, it's great advertisement. It's absolutely, because people see that and they say, well, I need to check this place out. It looks like everybody else is checking it out. I need to.
And it's interesting because they told personal stories where people who owned, like, you know, a railroad condo or apartment in Hoboken could find something on Hilton Head Island or Bluffton or wherever, and the price is, they're just amazed at the value compared to what they pay up there. So, hey, James, we're gonna take a break. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, and we will be back with more real estate update and James Wedgeworth right after this.